Good morning, or I should say good afternoon. Good afternoon. Yes, this is Spirit Journey, and today is September 13th, 2020, and I'm out and about with the gang here. I'll show you them as usual. Say hello, Lily. Yeah, that's Labby Boy and Lilac on the far right. Oops. You have to keep the, she used to toggle next time. Yeah, I have him out so he can get more exercise. Yes, we're going to the park. It's beautiful, the weather. This is perfect weather for them. It's not too hot. It's a breeze. Yeah, very nice. Okay, so sometimes my nose ring would be sticking. Hey, hello, viewer there. Hello, you could, I invite you to uh, say hello in the chat room so I could say hello back so I know who I'm talking to. Yeah, what a beautiful day. Yeah, what is today? What's it? Today's Monday. It feels like a week. Wait, is it Monday or Sunday? Yeah, I think it's Monday. You know, I'm not even sure what day of the week it is. But, let's see, I have to go on the curve now. Yeah, I'm not sure what day of the week it is. Tell me, it says it's this Sunday or Monday. I'm not sure, dear viewer. Yeah. I feel, how do I feel right now? I feel hopeful. I feel very hopeful. Um, I'm just trying to be careful of the debris. There's a lot of stuff here on this edge of this street. Yeah, I feel good. What did I have for breakfast today? I had mangoes. I had two big mangoes. Man, it was excellent, excellent, excellent. Yeah, really good and really sweet. And then I had this, I think you call it like a trail mix. Yeah, a trail mix of, it had walnuts, almonds, cranberries, dried cranberries, um, pumpkin seeds. What else? It was fat. It was nice. Oh, and then I had my supplements, and I tried a tablespoonful of MCT oil. That's medium chain fatty acids from coconut oil. So, come on, you can say. Sorry. Yeah, I'm trying to keep the leash closer to me so, no one trips over him. Yeah, yeah, I feel pretty good today. And yeah, I feel really full. I There's a lot of people out right now. Come on, big boy. Yeah. What else? Yeah, I feel pretty good. I had a really nice shower. I love my shower. I use I make my own soap, cold pressed soap. I don't know what oil I used. could have olive oil in it, avocado. It could be avocado coconut mix. Yeah. I started doing making soaps, bar soaps, um, 2014. Yeah, I was gonna do soaping and try to make money on the side for doing it. Then I gave up on that. But I can always do it later on. What else now? Hey, how you doing? Yeah, it's still 3. Thank God it's still 3.
Yeah, I see that.
Yeah. What's that?
Hello, puppy. Puppy.
Yeah, have a good one. Yeah, he's a nice guy. Yeah, a lot of people I know of by face. And his thing is, he'll go 1, 2, 3, 3 puppies. That's all he says. Just say hello. Yeah. He's a nice spirit. Nice guy. So, yeah, so I also shampooed my hair. I like to learn. Let's see. I also make liquid soap too. Yeah, I also like make liquid soap. And I also, let's see, yeah, I like to make detergent, for the clothes. That I want to learn how to do. I haven't done that yet. But yeah, with my title, that's just getting the informalities out the way, what I was doing early this morning to get out here. I was watching a video, this YouTuber that I just discovered online some time ago. And I actually learned about her through a video she uploaded about her DNA results. And yeah, she looks like the prominence of her 2 DNAs, on mother and father's side. Yeah, I have to toggle between the monitor and watch my little boy who's out there, make sure he doesn't get into something, and he'll keep stopping and going, scrapping his feet, yeah, after he goes pee-pee or something, he wants to dig on the floor. So sometimes he'll pull and then he'll pull me, and so I have to make sure that he's okay and behaving himself. So you're gonna see that from time to time, me turned away. And it's just because I have to watch what my dogs are doing, make sure they're safe. How you doing? So, come, come. Come on. Yeah. Okay. So, let's see. Yeah, so I've been watching this. I first learned of this YouTuber some years ago. I had typed in, DNA results. I did my DNA, and it pretty much the racial mix. Yeah, pretty much. And with DNA about mixes, it's not like when you work with DNA. It's not like you have a pie and you cut it in half. Because you're working with genetics, and so it'll show you what I call little M&Ms. Think of little M&Ms, and
Shopping day.
yeah, come on. So you never know which ones you're gonna get. Think of it like that. So even though you have a mother and father, and the M&Ms you could think of.
Why do you torture your dog like that?
Yeah. It's for itself. So, yeah. See that? Some people see these out-of-towners, and he's not being tortured. No one wants to have the little cone, but see, I'd rather him have the cone and stay alive. Okay? And I was going to tell him why I have, but he looked like a little angry little guy. See, people don't mind their business. See, that's also why I have the camcorder. Come on, baby. Come on. Come, 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 come on. Come. Yeah, you have angry people. And what, see, when they personalize it with my dogs, hurting people want to see the hurt in other individuals or things. They project. My dog is not being tortured, and I'd rather him alive with that cone on than him putting something in his mouth and choke to death. When I get further down the road, when I get to the park, I can take the cone off because he doesn't seem to bother with the natural stuff. He does this with bone. When he smells chicken bones or things like that, he'll just try to put it in his mouth and other things. And I feed him well, so I apologize for that. You know, you have them in every bunch. But anyway, yeah. Anyway, he's peeing again. Okay. What was I just saying? The YouTuber. So she shared her DNA, and basically I would say she looks like what her DNA says. On her mother's side, they're South Asian, from India, and the father is African, sub-Saharan African, and it's pretty much an equal blend of those two major races. And then she had, like, out of the blend, maybe 2% European and point something percent of East Asian / Native American. Yeah, they lump together. If you're an East Asian, they'll also blend in. They'll also blend in American Indian. That's how they do it. But basically, equal Asian African blend. She looks beautiful. I was only incorrect. I thought she had said, like, she has more than one video that talks about her genetics. And the first one that I saw a couple of years back, I thought she said her mitochondrial DNA was African. So I thought, oh, okay. Her mother is black, and she got her last name, her Asian name, from her father. So that's what I thought. But in the newer DNA video she did, she specified. And it was the opposite. Her mother is Asian, her father is black. And she was born in Canada. Her father is born, I think the father's Trinidad. Yeah, I'm not 100% sure, but I think she might have said he was from Trinidad. I think both parents are born in Trinidad, but she was born in Canada. He's Haitian. Oh, you know who I'm talking about? Camp. Good morning, Camp. How are you doing? How are you doing? Yeah, I have the gang here. Yeah. But I think the father, oh, okay, you're good. Very good. I'm glad. I'm glad about that. Okay, Lappy. So, let's hurry. Have to cross quickly. So, come on, baby. Come on. Wow, the streets are dirty today. A little dirty. So, yeah, she's very talented. a very, very talented woman. And she shares a lot about her background. Their parents were not married, and he left them when she was two, when she was 2 years of age, and the mother was verbally very cruel to her. And I feel her pain, even when she talks about it now. Her pain, you could feel her emotional pain behind it. She has a high IQ, she says, and I believe it. She's very savvy. She speaks very well. And today's video that I found, it was something that was recommended to me, and it was about the DNA. Oh, wait a minute, I'm getting confused now. Let me just move over. Sorry, I'm just trying to navigate here. Yeah, sometimes you get a lot of people, and some of them are as patient with dogs, if you're a person walking with their dog. So I have to let them go by sometimes. Okay, let's go. Come on, baby, come on. It's okay. Come on. Yeah, he doesn't like the sound of the trains. So, see, most people are fine with my dog with the cone on. I mean, it's designed, it's made for dogs, so they're not being tortured. If it works, use it. And when you can take it off, you take it off. Yeah, my little boy with the cone on, that's what I'm referring to. So, what was I saying now with the girl? So she has, he's stopping again. Come on. Sorry. So what's that? So she explains a lot about her background and how her mother always tried to minimize her. And she tried to do things to try to win her, just to get on good terms with her. You know, I think CPS was also called on the mother growing up. It was horrible. She was born and raised in Canada. And the area was very diverse of new immigrants, basically. And she showed a picture of herself in a classroom, you know, with these other students. I think she was like in the 6th grade, something like that. So that particular video was about the type of comments that people ask her. And a lot of the comments are very rude. They'll say, someone asked if she was transracial. that was I think the stupidest one. Or they ask, you know, you should be proud of yourself. You know, you're denying your heritage. So she got it from both sides. People saying that some Indians would say, oh, you know, contest about her being Indian, or black saying that she's not black enough. It go back and forth. She'll never please either group. But she said something very powerful. And the statement was, she decided for herself to be her own ethnicity, be her own person. And kind of like market the best of both worlds. She saw that she could uh, do things and, you know, to help her own channel. So she took lemons and made lemonade out of her life. And that I admired. She could have just crawled on the rock. Come on, Lavin. Come. She wanted to get a ketchup. Yeah, so she enjoys herself. She's highly intelligent, and she always was a self-starter. And I guess it was her way of surviving, living with her mother. Yeah, things that were done to her. It was more verbal abuse. And she shared it over the years, her channel. I could feel her pain, boy. So I'm happy for her that she has an opportunity to say in just a few words to F themselves. Yeah, and YouTube and social media allows her to do that. It allows her to have that power. See, being able to make your own money is empowering. When you're able to make your own money, you don't really care what other people say. She gets up when she gets up. She can think of, come on, come. Sorry, she's pulling again. Yeah, I don't know whether she went to college, but either way, I admire that she's not behind any one race. You know, she's about herself, marketing herself, being herself, taking care of her health, because she had severe health issues. She's only in her 30s. Hi. She's only in her 30s and had a heart attack. And she shared that on 3 separate occasions, they had to revive her. Her heart stopped. That's serious. Very, very serious. And you would never know it because she's slim, she's active, yeah. She's only in her 30s, you know, and she's given the account of what happened to her. So I don't know at what age her first heart attack was, but to be revived on 3 separate occasions, to have a heart attack, and you're not even in your 40s. Wow. So, so it's really something that, see, people, you have people who want to bully people who have an idea. And I want to also elaborate on this because some people may to move out. Go ahead. Yeah, I was letting these people go by. Come on, big boy. Move on the side here. Yeah, it's a little busy, these sidewalks today. Go ahead. You're welcome. Yeah, so sometimes you have people who bully and want you to cower to their rules, and they don't know anything about her health. They don't pay her salary. They don't come visit her. They don't pay her bills. So why should you care? And I commend her that she's able to put out content, and it make a lot of money. She even put out a video that she had earned $20,000 a month from YouTube. How many people get that kind of money? And she also discusses you get a chance to go outside and walk around and enjoy it. Yes. Yeah, so that's also what I'm doing. See, only I could walk my own walk. Only I could walk my little dogs. Only I could, buy my food, cook my food, prepare my food, tend to my own life. We'll have our own personal responsibilities to do. Yeah, I noticed when I lifted up the camera up, it's better lighting. Yeah. So I think it's powerful what she's able to do. So her race, she knows how to put makeup on. Her makeup is impeccable. I love her. I like watching her videos for how she does her makeup. It's very tasteful. And I think it's nice. See, I can learn from anyone. And I like learning from people who transcend race, who, come this way. They transcend race. I never heard her once say in her videos about black or white people per se, that they did this or that to her. Never. And it had me thinking, because you've been definitely hearing from me about black and white. But see, when you control your purse, she controls her purse. And so it's not an issue for her. Let me just cross the street. Sorry. Yeah, she doesn't make excuses. And I admire that.
4 p.m. your time. It's going to be like 15 minutes.
Yeah, I admire her tenacity to improve herself. And I'm going to say it, and I know it's going to offend some people, but I say it not to offend, but to make a point. Now, she is from Canada, and she's currently living in Canada. So she's not coming from the United States of America. I think if she were born and raised here, she would have more baggage about her identity, because it's a very polarized nation as it comes to race. Canada did not have slavery. I mean, it didn't have chattel slavery, and you had the people who were enslaved in the United States escaped and entered Canada. So Canada was a refuge to many freed blacks. But it does have racism there. And I've met other mixed race blacks from there. And I say it like that because I'm talking as an American, and just basically what label she would have. I couldn't care less what she is. This person that I know, she was a beautiful person in the inside and out. Really nice human being. But I say it as a, how you doing? Well, watch your back. Oh, you got a little puppy there? Cutie.
I like your visor.
Thank you. That's a cute puppy. How old's your little puppy?
7 weeks.
Oh, sweetie. What type of dog is that?
A pit bull.
Oh, really? That's what a pit bull looks like. Well, they grow. They grow. Take care. Enjoy. A baby pit bull. Come on. Yeah, what I was going to say. I think if she were born here, the label of being this or that would be a big issue. So I'm just waiting for my dog. He's gotta go again. Okay, okay, guy. He's doing this foot scraping again. So, but I was greatly encouraged by her video. And a certain part of her video, which was so funny, she's really good at editing, video editing. And she included a little snippet, a video snippet of a guy. It's a video of a guy, very nerdy, what you would call a nerd, skinny, wearing jeans, and he's like dancing, really nerdy, clapping his hands, lifting his leg. Sorry. And we're of course in the street here. Sorry. And he's saying in the video he says the real word. He says to F yourself. And it was so funny. So it's irony, that society tried to harm her and her health is bad, but she's persevering. So here she could make, because of her brain, her wisdom, over $20,000 a month. She speaks very progressive and she sets goals for herself. That's an amazing what she's doing. So it inspired me today. Her video inspired me because I was thinking back on my life and how disempowered I felt. Come on, come. How disempowered I felt growing up. I didn't know who I could really talk to about issues. I used to say when I was, I think I was 20 or 21 around, and I started identifying myself as a mixed race person, which is true. And I did share my DNA results. My DNA results is, in a nutshell, 53% African and 47% European. And I have a sibling we have the same parents, and that person's DNA is 51% European and 49% African. So that's why I said that genetics is like M&Ms. That it's not like a piece of pie that you just cut the pie in half. With heritage, you never know which color you're going to get. What will be considered one particular group over the other with genetics. So it could have been those DNA tests are scams. Yes, some of them can be scams. Yes, but it can give you a general ballpark of where your genetics come from. Period. The big argument with the DNA is again about the Native American. Who has Native American blood? And why is that? Well, see, if you claim Native American heritage, then you can deny the reality of the transatlantic slave trade. And if you're a white person, that, you're indigenous, so you're not really white, but you're a native, but you're getting white privilege. So it's just one of those things. But it shouldn't matter what you are. And listen to this woman's video. Greatly encouraged me because I didn't have someone like her growing up. Come on, Lavin. Oh, I can take the cone off now. Come on, let me get the cone off. Let me get the cone off for you. Get it? Okay, sorry. Okay, I'm just trying to get. Okay, let me attach this back on. Sorry. Sorry about that. Yeah, so Larry, let's go. So, you have to look. I'm in the park now. I'm at Central Park. And you have a lot of traffic, people running, bicycles, and yes, people do get hit. So I have to be very careful. Okay, I'm going on the curb here to the sidewalk. Okay, baby, come on. Yeah, so, yeah, I didn't have people that could really talk to. Oh, I remember what I was saying. When I was in my late teen, like 19 or between 19 and 21, I was having severe racial identity issues. And that's what the essence of this video that I want to address in relationship to that YouTuber that really gave me the courage to, again, share my story or my experiences and how foolish and how it's addressing, how I may need to modify certain things that I've said in the past as it pertains to race and identity for other people. But I don't want to. It's none of my business about who other people are. What is my business is myself, my life, and how I conduct myself. But I'm in no right to tell people what they are. And I have said in the past about people in particular, well, really the issue about the Black and Native American. And of all my videos, that's one of the sore spots and videos that get a lot of traffic. Interesting enough, the videos that get the most traffic is about race, most of them, and one of them was with Dr. Sebi, but all of them was issues pertaining to race and people, Dr. Sebi being dying under how do you say this? You need to come out? You need to come out, baby? Okay, I'll get you out. Okay. Okay, yeah, let me get them out. They might have to go pee-pee. Yeah, I'll get you out, big girl. I'll put you on the grass. Like a mysterious something. Okay. Yeah, I'm just letting them let me show you them. Yeah. Yeah, she was barking. That's the Shih Tzu. She was barking just a moment ago. So I'm just thinking, okay, okay, she had to go pee-pee. She had to go pee-pee. Let me turn the camera now. Okay. Oh. Okay, let me put you back in the stroller. Oh, no, don't you jump. Sorry. Yeah, let me just let them. Wait a minute. Yeah. I'm sorry. You should have a child before you get to. No, I'm not going to have any. I'm way past the age of bearing children, boy. Yeah. I had wanted children, but it's not for everybody. It's not for everybody. But I like children. I like little babies, but I'm okay with it. I think that's why I got my little dogs. They're babies. They act like children. So, and I'm okay with that. Yeah. So I'm just watching them and talk to you. Yeah. So I had a very difficult growing up. I'm born and raised in New York City, and I thought, okay, see, people whose parents kind of look different than each other, you don't go like wake up and notice that, oh, your parents are this or that. Your parents are your parents. You know, I was raised with both my parents. So, you know, it's like the color of roses. They come all different colors, right? You don't just wake up and say, oh, well, you know, that one is that color and this one is that one. It's irrelevant. It really is. People are taught racism, period. But I noticed, though, how people are treated, though, as a young person. Yeah, that to this very day, the first incident that I saw involving a black and white person, it was a black male. He was being arrested by a white cop, and he looked sad. And I never forgot that. I was preschool, and I remembered how I felt. I felt sad, and he looked sad, the black fellow. And then another time, um, I was shopping with my mom. Both of my parents are classified as black people, but my mother looks like a Caucasian. Okay? No, let's quiet. Let's quiet. He's barking because there's another dog coming. Let's quiet. 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 Okay. And so, you know, my mother's my mother. I never thought anything of it. But one day, yes, you want to get back on the. Okay, I'll put you back in the stroller. Let me put you back in the stroller. Okay? Just a moment, folks. Okay. Okay. So, one day, I was shopping with my mom. And I never forgot this either. Well, let me fix this here. The, the leash got tangled. Just take me a moment. Okay. Shall we go, people? Doggies, I should say. Yeah, yeah, one day I was with my mother shopping. We're in a department store. I could have been 9 years old, something like that. And I was holding my mother's arm because I was very timid as a child. And this woman, she could have been like in her 40s, 50s, and she gave me a dirty look. I didn't do anything to her. I never said anything to her. I didn't know who she was. We were facing opposite. We were walking towards each other, you know. And I know how it made me feel. And I knew that she did that because of something. And I, I sensed that it was because of my looks versus my mother's. And the store, it was heavily white, the store. But I noticed when I walked with my father, who is very, very dark, no one ever did anything. No white person ever looked at me in a bad way. So I knew at that age that there are people who don't like me because of my color, and that it had to do with, that it's something that whites do. And in that world, in the United States, when you turn on the TV set, mostly all the people you see are white. So you develop a white identity, but in a black or brown packaging. They're two different things. There's two separate things, I should say. Race and culture or society. I'm raised in a European American culture. I went to a European American run school system. I speak a European language, English. The whole social system is a system that is that particular background. I'm not raised in Africa. I do not speak an African language. I do not wear. Hey, how you doing, Can Can? Yeah. Okay, you have to go potty? Yeah, I'm out with the gangs, Can Can. I'm in Central Park. Okay. So what I was saying, I was not raised in Africa. I do not speak an African language. No, that's all. Come on. No, away, away, away. Yeah, oh, I just love you and your fur. But yeah, the fur babies are here. Let me show you them since you're just coming on board. See? Yeah, we're in Central Park, and that's the little Shih Tzu. She's still recovering. She was acting out a little bit yesterday. Yeah, she had the back surgery. I have to really keep her mobile. She was moving about this morning, but I have to keep her still, because her spine is still, see that? She said, Mommy, push me. Okay, okay, I turn it back. Come on, guys. Come. Okay, they wanna sniff something. Let them sniff. So, what was I saying? Oh, Furbid, yeah, I hope you, yeah, thank you, Can Can. It's always good to see you. Yeah. So, what was I just saying now? You wait. You hear her barking? She's getting. You wait. You have the best seat in the house. What was I just saying now? Yeah, I speak a. Yeah, thank you again. Yeah, so I don't live in an African country. I do not speak an African language. I, I, um, I don't wear African clothes. What else? Yeah, there's nothing really African about me other than that I have bushy hair and I have full lips. Yeah, I have a mixed features. My body type is tall and thin. I get that from my mother's side. My mother is tall and I'm the shortest one in the family. I have a hairy body, and I know I got that from my European. But I'm okay with it. And a couple of years ago, I wanted to come to terms with what I have. I was learning about what they call the ancestors, and I noticed in African American topics, they talk about ancestor and ancestor worship, and to do what you call the libations. A libation when you use alcohol. Some people might use water, and you pour it on the ground or in a basin. You say certain prayers, and it's to give them honor. Some people do an altar. And I would say I started to become more interested in my African roots. because of Trayvon Martin, who was murdered by George Zimmerman. That happened in 2012. But I was always interested, I mean, even when I was in the military, I was becoming more and more aware and to take pride in my African heritage. In America, you don't have to, no one has to teach you to like your white heritage, you know, that's a given. You have to be taught to appreciate your African heritage, right? So I wanted to learn more about my African heritage, so I started to slowly get books on the subject. But what rekindled my interest in my heritage, my African heritage, is because of, as I said, Trayvon Martin, who I think it was in 2012, February of 2012, he got murdered, and he was racially profiled. And I do now. Yeah, I eventually, I started getting books on Black history. Well, history with like Frederick Douglass. I got books on him, Harriet Tubman, and I watched this. Stop that! And I watched this video on YouTube. Come on, let's go. Let's go. Come on, come on, Lavin. Yeah, she wants to. They want to stay there. It's this particular tree. They love to smell and everything. But lilac wants to move. Okay, I'll put on. I don't want any dogs to go near my dog. I'm not trying to be antisocial. Someone's just walking by, and he was sniffing the cart where lilac is. Yeah, you wait up. Okay, so because of that incident, I really started to embrace and actively pursue to learn about that. Let's quiet. Let's quiet. Let's quiet. Let's quiet. Let's quiet. It's Lavin. Let's quiet. Lavin, let's quiet. 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 Okay. I have to untangle them now. Sure. Lavin, get this go. Let's go. Come on. I have to put my foot down. They're going to stay there all day. I apologize. I apologize. So, what was I saying now? It really shook me, the Trayvon Martin incident, and I started getting books on the history because my background is not from the South. My background is Caribbean. I'm born and raised here. My parents are born and raised here in New York City, but their parents are all from the Caribbean. And that's where the mixing occurred, the racial mixing occurred then. And my parents, my parents' grandparents, half of them were European, and all the others were Afro-Caribbean. And so I needed to know and learn, and not just take for granted because I have bushy hair and brown skin. I wanted to learn about Black culture of America. Identify, at least now. Sorry, I hear it's in my mouth. You stay on your side, Lily. Identify with African Americans. Let me rephrase that. I don't really use the term African American, but I say it in this context, American Blacks. That's the term I usually use, but I interchange. But basically, I just say Blacks from America or American Blacks. And I felt I didn't want to take for granted because of my looks. I wanted to know about that heritage. I wanted to know about them, about what they incurred. And again, it's very similar to what happened in the Caribbean. Just in the Caribbean, it happened longer. And depending upon what island, that sounds better. Okay, yeah. Okay. Yeah, the term I use is blacks from America rather than African American. Uh, so, what was I saying now? Little boy with the ice cream, the what do you call it, SpongeBob ice cream pop. And he's showing me. Okay, so you tie it now. Okay, I'll put you in the stroller. Oh, don't get my necklace. Don't break my necklace. Sorry. Calm down. Sure. Sorry about that. Let me get that around. Off you. Sorry. Yeah, I have to. Yeah, before I move, I have to draw all the leash. It's not around the neck or anything like that. They get tangled easily. Okay. Thank you, Ken Ken. Okay, now we're off. So, yeah, I wanted to learn about this history. And I think you guys, your history is fantastic, man. You have a lot of history, a lot of events that happen that you could discuss with your children, and it's nothing to be ashamed of. The things that happen, you are not the things that happen to you. You are not the things that happen to you. Things happen, and things are happening now. But a lot of American blacks walk in shame, and they teach shame to their children, and that's why a lot of us say the N word to each other, and it's reminiscent of self-loathe. Even to this day, that's all I hear. Um, if I'm around blacks from America, as I'm in a social setting like this, okay, this is a beautiful park. See that? See that? It's a beautiful park. Who's saying the N-word? Who's saying violent stuff? You know? I don't hear white people saying bad things about them being white. I don't hear it. Yeah, it's a beautiful park. So people are taught by what you say. If you don't want people to know certain things, don't teach it to them. And so the YouTuber that I was talking about earlier in the video, who's of mixed heritage, and she's born and raised in Canada, she's about improving herself, improvement with her mind. She knows how to use her mind. And she grew up in depression, and she had she had to be revived 3 times. And before the age of 40, she had, I'm not sure how old she is now. She could still be in her 30s. She had a heart attack and she's in her 30s. Okay? So I admire that she didn't learn that racism as it's spoken of in the United States of America. I mean, Canada is a different place. It's modern. I've never been to Canada, but they seem very modern. And to me, they act like Americans, but different. And it's no insult. I don't mean that it's an insult for you Canadians. You're unique in your own way. But if someone doesn't say that they're from Canada, I would just assume they're from the U.S. Come on, baby, come. So, yeah. So you have to teach. You have to teach your children what you want them to know, and you have to teach them to not feel like a victim. You have to teach community. You have to teach working as a group. Because if you don't, all what you do have will be taken away from you. Come on, baby. Yeah, everything. And you have to protect your history. Yeah, thanks, Cam Cam. Yeah, you have to protect your history, your legacy. There are people who want you to think that ancient Egypt were white people with blue eyes, and they weren't. See, that's what's that word when you appropriate someone's culture? Well, that's misappropriation in the worst way. When you say that you are that person and the other person's not that person, it's stealing. So, if you don't want people to steal your culture, you better start teaching your children what their culture is and not just saying that you're an Indian when you're not. I stand my ground on that. But you have those who are, and God bless them. But don't lie about your history. See, if you embrace, you have to learn to embrace all of you. And like what I was going to say about the libations. Yeah, so what I did, because I was going back and forth with this race issue, big time. And I said, I am who I am. And I see both races in my being. So I went to, I was learning things about what they call libations and the ancestors and all that. So I said, I'm going to do something to my ancestors, do something. So I made an altar. And I shared this on my video. Just go, if you go to my channel, just type in the word, what do you call it, altar, something like that. And you'll probably find a few videos about the subject. Yeah, I showed how I did my altar. I used a tray, candles, containers, and alcohol. I bought about 5 different bottles of various alcohol. I bought them according to what countries they're from. So again, I don't know what part of Africa I'm from, but how I handled that, as you know, the West Indies / Caribbean / Antilles. I said, okay, what island they were from. And again, I live in New York City, and you're limited what you can get. So to represent the Caribbean, I bought, they have Barbadian rum. So I said, okay, I'm going to use that to represent the Caribbean collective. And I'm French background on my part French on my mom's side. So I got this vodka from France. I was also told I'm part Russian, so I got this Russian vodka. Then on my father's side, Portuguese, and so I got this Porto wine. And then, okay, I was born and raised in New York. So I found a wine from Long Island. I actually was born on the island. This is weird. This is a New York terminology, okay? Okay, this New York City. New York City consists of 5 boroughs. But one of those boroughs, Queens and Bronx, is actually on a little island called Long Island. But people from Queens and Brooklyn do not call themselves Long Islanders. But if you're from Nassau County, Long Island, or Suffolk, Long Island, you call yourself an islander, okay? But the actual island itself, I was born on and raised on. So I said, okay, I'm gonna get, I discovered a wine that's actually made on this island. So I bought that too. So I have all those bottles, and then I lit the candles and the incense, and I had a big bowl, and I did a prayer. And each of the bottles, I poured it one bottle at a time, and the prayer I gave was, in short, it was to uh, thank them for their who they were because they are of my bloodline, and whatever harm I had to move something up. Whatever harm they may have done, I forgive them. Yeah. And whatever pains that they do, that be healed, something like that. And each one I did that. Each one. I think I even did one for my grandparents, because one of my grandparents was kind of cruel. I didn't know that grandparent, but they were very cruel to somebody, and so I asked for, I prayed for them, their soul, that they'd be in peace, and to come to understanding and peace and harmony. So I did a special prayer for all of them, and I left it in the bowl for like overnight, and so those were prayers I was addressed to all my known ancestors, and to come in peace. And then I gave a prayer over myself too. See, I'm the end product of all those mixes. And there is a knowledge that I learned about with my background that I also wanted to address. On my mother's side, they're Afro-French heritage from the island of Martinique. There was a map, okay. I have records of their enslavement, their freedom papers, and it's online. And it's all in French. And I had gotten access to it. I downloaded it and printed it. What I found out that direct ancestor, I think there would be 4 ex-great-grandparents. One was, she got her freedom, well, slavery ended in Martinique in 1840 something. Go around. She was 14 years of age when slavery ended for her and the rest of the island. And guess what? The year slavery ended, she was pregnant. She delivered her baby. Yes, she did. The baby was born in freedom. I don't know what month that slavery ended in Martinique, but the baby at least was born in freedom. I don't know when the baby was conceived, whether she was conceived in slavery, that I don't know. But what I wanted to share about this is very telling. Yeah, she's 14, and she was, I don't know what her race, I don't know whether she was a pure-blooded African or she was generationally mixed. That I don't know. But all her parents were slaves. That I do know. Of course, the papers indicated that. So she knew who her parents were, and they were not married. Slaves weren't allowed to marry. But she had gotten pregnant by a man who most likely was a slave owner, and probably a big-time slave owner in Martinique. Their family goes back from 16, oh, what's that? think it was 1650 something. It was just 30 years after the island was discovered by the European. And they had massive land that was allocated for them. That was on the northern part of Martinique. Come on, baby. And what happened? She got pregnant by him, had his baby.
Now that is a pretty picture.
Thank you.
I didn't see the two in there.
Yeah, they're in there. Yeah. So what happened? They formed a union. Well, she got pregnant and she had his baby. So here you have an ex-slave and a planter. They don't use the term slaver. They use, it starts with a P, proprietor, something like that. And that word means a business person, an owner of a business. What business, right? But we all know what he did. So here you have that union. And you know what else? Okay. Now he used to be married, this man, this direct ancestor of mine, was married to a white woman, and they had a kid together. The kid was about 2 years old and the wife dies. And that's when he got involved with my ancestor, the woman. I think they had 2 kids together, my direct ancestor, and then he leaves and moves somewhere else on the island and gets another lady pregnant. I'm not sure what her background was. They have at least 2 kids together. Then he leaves her, and not much information about her. Then he comes back to my direct ancestor and has 8 more children with her. Well, okay, Larry. Come on. So, I'm gonna walk past this first for a minute. It's too noisy. Okay. Come on, big boy. Come. Come on. Come, Larry. Come. Okay. So, I'm sorry about that. So, they have 8 children together after that. So that's a total of 10 children, all born in freedom. But what is interesting about this, again, he is a former enslaver. It took 50 years, but after 50 years, he marries her. Yep, he legally marries her, a former slave. Come on. Hi.
Oh my God.
Thank you. No, Lavin, no. Okay. Yeah, so you have a legal marriage, and I have that document. See, after slavery, you're given you register at your town hall where they're from. And this paper follows you the rest of your life, and any change to your status, let's say you get married or you have children, everything is written down by hand on that piece of paper. It's a very valuable document in that it shows you historical evidence of certain relationships, births, deaths. Okay? It's a great piece of documents. Okay, I have to turn around. Yeah, I'll let you go in front of me. Oh, okay. Yeah, so that's a little better. I don't want to trip. So let me switch hands. He's still pulling. So, yeah, it's a very valuable document to have. And this is on, stop that. This is on the island of Martinique. So all of the French Caribbean, well, those places that are still being ruled by France, they have this 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 database online. It's free too to look at. It's free. Too bad the U.S. doesn't have anything like that you could go online and look up your heritage, things that happened. So, so here, they what I can only speculate why they marry. See, he's 80 years old at the time. 80-year-old man now wants to, to legally marry this woman. Oh, on the document I was telling you about, it, excuse me, it indicated when they got married. It also indicated when my aunts, the female ancestors' own parents, when they legally married, then her surname changed. See, my direct ancestor's mother, she was issued the same last name as her biological mother. Yes, slaves didn't have last names, but when they got their so-called, freedom, they were issued surnames. And so, no, Lavin, don't go in front of me like that. So when her parents legally married, a couple of years after slavery ended, my ancestor got now her father's last name. And that was in the document. So it's really teaching a lot about what happened right at the time of when slavery ended. Every black person in the Americas should know all that. You should find out. Because it's empowering, because you know what happened. You don't know, I mean, Hollywood could make up any story. You want to know your personal heritage, not something from a book, but your personal family heritage, whether good or bad. And when you find out what that heritage is, maybe you too could do a libation to those ancestors and pray for their peace, that they're living in peace. And let's say if one of your direct ancestors was a slave owner, a white slave owner, okay? So that could be problematic for many of you, right? But it happens. So to come to peace with it genetically, you pray. You say, I forgive you, or whatever. You pray because, see, you inherit what you inherit, whether good or bad, whether it was consensual or unconsensual. You inherit those genetics, good or bad. Okay? So for me, So for me, I wanted to come in terms with it. I didn't want to feel like I have to make excuses. I have what I have. But you come to terms with what you're quiet. Come to terms with what you have. And I asked for my genetics to work in harmony within my body. Yes, I did. I think I might have even said something about diabetes and heart disease. I think I asked for it to be healed, to be, to heal my genetics and work in unison and to have peace genetically in my body. And I feel so wonderful about that. I do. I feel pretty good about it. And I'm thinking, hey, you can do the same thing. You can do the same thing to empower yourself. And I asked them, my genetics, to help me with my life, my career, everything. I still got a long way to go, but to do this, it is symbolic, and it's a way of releasing. you have a lot of us, people in general, who are walking around in shock. They're in shock with their genetics. They're in shock because of the history that they believe what happened to them. And so I think it's more important to know your personal heritage. Because some things you might have thought happened may not have happened the way you think it did. Okay? So find out. Find out the definitive. Come on. Oh, sure. Wow. Just biting that person's leg. Yeah, I wanted to get out of there, man. Boy. Yeah. So, yeah, I like the dance groups. They come out here every weekend. But yeah, you have to come to terms with yourself. It is hard. I think some of the things that happened to me growing up all stems from trauma. Trauma from, come on, Larry, come. It comes from trauma. There's also colorism in the black community or any other group, people of color. That color because of racism and white supremacy that was taught in all of the Americas. And yes, it exists in Europe too. So, but if you come to terms with who you are, you say, I have what I have. I know what happened in part, and you say, okay, let me use the best of my genetics. And the girl in question on YouTube, she is using her genetics to benefit her. Hey, cute little dog. So you see that? There was a bubble. They're blowing bubbles out here. So yeah, life. This YouTuber that I made mention to, she just added insight to me. I like her brilliant. She's highly intelligent. She utilizes her everything, and when she wants to do something, she researches it, and she researched how she could achieve $20,000 a month. Yeah, come on. So I said, wow. Boy, I would like to make more money. Sure I would. And I think though what I want to do, I think I need to take a break. There's things going on with my my YouTube channel. I'm being shadow banned. And I'm taking this as a possible sign, a possible sign that maybe the universe is trying to tell me something, trying to tell me, hey, you're getting too preoccupied with the YouTube and you're getting all caught up in this race baiting and things like that. And I need you to back away for a little bit. Sorry. So I think I just might just do that. If I do the video, I wanted to, right here, look at wild. See this wild? Yeah, you're here. Yeah, embrace your hair. And I have all my hairline. You have a lot of black girls, they don't have a hairline because they'd be pulling on their scalp because they don't like their hair. And life taught me that, like I had tried a hair weave before, over 30 some odd years ago. I had a friend, a so-called friend, who had this hair weave. I said, wow, I didn't know about things like that. And I wanted this long hair. So I put it on. I had it on for 2 weeks total. And I was going to hair school. And a student, when was washing my hair, noticed two bald spots where the hair weave was anchored to. I took off that thing so fast. Yeah, it was a whole drama to it. And yeah, my battery's getting low. Yeah, it was a lot of drama regarding it. And it was just a learning lesson. See, life was trying to tell me, embrace your natural hair. Embrace it. You have all these women who put these hair things, attachments, and it causes them hair loss. Beauty should not cause harm to any part of your body. And I thought, oh, I was beautifying myself. I was really excited. I could have instant long hair, but at a price. I took it off, never put it back on again. And I did try hair relaxing on and off. Let's see, I think I got my first hair relaxing when I was going on 18. Yeah, my mother put the thing on my hair. She didn't know anything about my type of hair. My mother's hair, she has Caucasian hair. I have hair like my father. And she didn't know what she was doing with the hair relaxer. And then she brought me to a salon, a black salon. It was called Soul Scissors. I don't know I don't think they're still around. But that was a place. Come on, let's quiet. Sorry. Yeah, it was called Soul Scissors. And they were in like a department store. A&S. They were in A&S. My mother used to work at A&S. And all black people that worked in there. Yeah, in those days, and still, white people do not touch black women's hair. You may have like barber shops, and they may have once in a while a female that works in there, but in general, white women do not want anything to do with black people, black women. And I left the school. I was going to cosmetology school, and it's a school run by whites. It was part of the New Jersey school system. It was like a continuing ed program for people who, they don't want to go to college. I mean, it's an alternative to teach people skills. Because maybe they have like a GED course and learn other. Hey, you cut it out. Cut it out. Sorry. It was a great school, but I didn't. The beauty field, especially when it comes to hair, it's very racist. So they base on what your race is, or who they think your race is, and if they think you're black or you have black hair, that you ought to just do black people. And the whites don't do it, the white women. And I'm thinking, wait a minute. Here I'm going to the same schools they go to, that the whites go to, the beauty school, run by whites. And yet I'm being told indirectly that I have to just do, or be expected to do a black client, but yet my white counterpart doesn't. And they act like, oh, they don't know anything about black hair care, how to put a relaxer in. But you have to pass the bar exam, the state board beauty exam, which includes how to put a hair relaxer in. So they're liars about not knowing. They just don't want to do it. So I said to myself, wait a minute, I'm in this school for almost a year, 10 months, and I'm expected to know how to do something, but the school's not really focusing on it. And I don't want to have a client, a black client, come to me assuming that I'm trained in black hair care, but yet I'm no more qualified than the others, than my white counterpart. And so I felt if it's expected to me to do it and know how to do it, that I should be taught correctly how to do it. And I wasn't being taught that. And so I said, I'm out of this business. Yep. I said no. So, yeah, so what was the point about my saying that? Yeah, so, everything is connected. And yeah, learn how to do your own hair. And I think blacks in America, it's getting a little better because you have a lot of immigrants from other countries that know how to do black hair care, or at least better. The schools that are run here are run by whites. And so they have a white mindset and not about an inclusive mindset of learning all different textures hairs. Okay? And it's still like that. You go into any salon, and if you're a person that looks like a black person, they don't want to do your hair. So I mean, some of them they eventually do it, and but they'll make it so that you don't want to come back to them, and that has happened to me. That happened to me about 7 years ago.
Hey, passing on the right side.
Yeah. I'm going to make a right turn here. Yeah, so yeah, the U.S. is a very racist country in its treatment of like beauty, and so if you're black in America and you want to learn hair care, a place like New York City, but see now New York City has a lot of immigrants from the Caribbean that do hair that know it, like people from the Dominican Republic. They know how to do black hair. It's a black island. They don't want to admit that, but they do hair very well. They have a better respect for hair in treating it. They're really good at it. You also have Jamaicans that do hair, but I thought my experience with Jamaicans doing hair, there's a lot of colorism that some of them have, like if you have, at least this was back then, racism towards, I mean, biasness against blacks who don't really look like them, might be a little lighter, maybe the hair a little straighter. They were biases. Yeah, it's interesting. Most of my overt race or biasness, I should say, I don't want to say racism per se, but biases against me were done by black women, black American women and black West Indian women. Very few has been done by well, overt physical racism, not as much. How whites discriminate, how whites show their dismay is it's verbal and sneaky, and it's done through employment. So one has the power of the pen, and the other one has the power of the mouth, or the fist, Or both were very detrimental and very aggravating. So let's see. I'm just gonna wing it. I'm just gonna walk anywhere. Yeah, so I'm at the Ramble now. Yeah, the good old Ramble. Yeah, you're gonna see a lot of more foliage behind me. So yeah, I'm just gonna wing it today. I'm having a good time talking to you guys, and I hope you guys understand. But I feel that it's important to say these things because, see, I know I'm not the only one that faced hardships and racial identity issues. You are who you are. And I think like a place like New York City, I think what's plaguing New York City is, in my opinion, is that I think many of the American black women who live in New York, now here their people came from the South, the southern states, to escape persecution. And then when you get to New York, and again, you help win the Civil War for this country, and then you have to compete for employment with newcomers and people who don't like you. And this blew their mind. And then you're taught as a black woman that you're not beautiful. They don't want you to know about how to comb your own hair. You're encouraged to cover your hair, right? Many black women back in the day, we wore scarves on our head because you're not supposed to look pretty, right? Right? But places like the Caribbean, especially places like Puerto Rico, there's a lot of racial mix in there. But the women were encouraged to dress more showy. They learn how, they establish their own institutions for hair and makeup, things like that. In the U.S., they encouraged to not look pretty. That it's primarily Protestant, the U.S., and about prudity, right? So it's a lot of things behind why the culture here why they didn't embrace learning about hair care. I mean, you had that woman, Madam Walker. She made products, hair products. And even women like that. Oh, I'm catching my breath. I have to get my, what do you call it, my battery. Let me just get it. Yeah, so when it gets lower, I have the battery to put on. Oh, this looks beautiful. Let me show you this. Oh, let me go forward. This man said I don't want him to get in the picture. Oh, I'm just catching my breath. Just take a second. This is so pretty. I gotta show you. Isn't that pretty? That is so pretty. Absolutely pretty. I hope you guys are watching and enjoy this. Look, you guys. You being bad girl, Lilac? Yeah, yes, yeah, you cut it out. You cut it out. You cut it out. Yeah, let me change it back. Yeah. Yeah, so about hair care and stuff like that, I think what really helps about the hair industry for blacks or people who have this type of bushy hair, that having people from diverse backgrounds, from different parts of the Caribbean or South America, it's a plus. It adds. Because I couldn't learn. I didn't learn hair care from my mom, definitely. You know what else that affected my self-esteem? I had gotten my hair cut. I have one of those type of sisters. I have one sister only. And she says to me one evening, she says, oh, I just want to look at something with your hair. She has Caucasian hair. And she asked me to come over to her in front of the mirror, and I didn't know what she wanted. And what she did, she took out a scissors and snipped off my hair. I couldn't believe it. And she's one of those type of sisters that like to uh, tell on people and lie on people so they can get beaten. So I had to keep quiet. So that was another dynamic. I was very shy and timid because anything that I say could hurt me. So that was the device that coping mechanism that I used. But anyway, so I had to learn, like my mother, before my sister did that, um, she told me, oh, what's that? Oh, my mother told me never to comb my hair. She didn't like how I combed my hair, and she said she'll comb it. So I didn't know how to, and I have to listen to what, what she says. So when my sister cut it, and my sister told me, oh, go show our parents. So I go in their bedroom when they were sleeping, and then I woke them up. And so my mother looks up my afro. My sister cut my hair in an afro. I was, I think, going on 12. It was done in the summertime, just before, it was in the summer before the 7th grade started, before I entered. I used to wear pigtails or those 3 braids. Real typical Caribbean hairstyle, real bland. So now I don't mean to say that being Caribbean you have bland hair, but little girls in the Caribbean, they dress, you got this type of hair. We wear a real simple hairstyle. You know what I'm saying? You got the pigtail. I mean the 2 pigtails, or the 3 pigtails, and that was it. So, so when my mother sees that it's cut in an afro, oh, that's a stairway down there. Can't go there. Go back. Okay, yeah, there's a stairway going up there, so I have to use another one. Yeah, I'm just moseying along here. So what happened, my mother looks at my hair, and she says, from now on, you're going to comb your own hair. So I went to a junior high school that was like half and half black and then half everything else. You had West Indians, you had Europeans, you had Hispanics, you had East Asians, South Asians. But I think the blacks dominated the school though. It was horrible. But what happened? What was that now? Oh, so I have to learn how to comb my hair. There was this one girl, she was in my elementary school, and she was in this junior high school of ours. And she knew how to cornrow. And back in those days, students, the black girls used to cornrow each other's hair in school, like the hairline. And so when I'd go home, I would go to the bathroom and I would teach myself how to cornrow my hair. And one day, I did my hair in braids, like the cornrows there were thin braids that went down all along my head, part in the middle and thin rows going downward. And my mother wanted me to go with her shopping. Now it takes hours to braid hair, okay? It took me hours. So she looks at my hair and says, I'm not going to walk with you if you have those braids in your hair. Take it out. Real nasty like. And so I had to jump in the shower, undo the braids, and re-shampoo, re-shampoo my hair and comb it out to wear it in a fro. Yeah, that's what happened. So I learned early in life, yeah, I still got someone there. Yeah, I learned early in life that things that were black / African was bad. and anything European slash white was good. And I loved my mother, and I wanted my mother's affection. So that, I think that was the beginning of my racial identity problems. Again, I wasn't raised in a racialistic home. Again, my mother is one complexion, my father's another, and all the kids came out like my color. So, so you don't notice color, but I notice that certain things are attributed to certain people, like cornrows. And I learned then at that moment, that just see if I want to go down that. No, I'm not going to go down there because then I have to go back up. So it slopes downward too much. Yeah, so I learned that if I had so-called white interests, that seemed to be appropriate. Yeah, things like that. Yeah, you learn. See, racism can be very subtle. Let's say types of music. You listen to certain music, and I was told by, oh, you're not supposed to listen to that type of music. I'm the type of person, hey, how come you can listen to what you listen to? I can't listen. So, but it spoke clear, it spoke very blunt. So what I mentioned earlier of the white lady glaring at me because I was walking with my mom, she let me know. So kids aren't stupid. You will learn about what's considered acceptable. And I learned at a young age, having brown skin causes white people to act certain ways towards people whose skin is brown like mine or dark. Okay, go around. So you have to, so the point of my saying this is that you have to educate yourself how to do hair, how to do yourself, how to put on makeup. That's another thing, what happens in the U.S. Go on. That's another thing that happens in the U.S. How to put on makeup. At one point, like in the modeling industry, those models, they were required to do their own makeup. Yeah. This is in the late 70s, early 80s. You go to a photo shoot, you had to bring your own makeup and do it yourself because they don't do black people. But you go to Europe, you go to Scandinavia, Scandinavia, they know how to do, come on, go over. They know how to do brown and black skin. They taught it. But the U.S. has a lot of baggage. So I appreciate the people from the Caribbean who come here. They know how to put on their makeup. And that YouTuber that I made mention to earlier in the video from she's a dark brown. She does her makeup beautiful. Yeah. Yeah, growing up, the blacks here, they didn't know, not melanated, we didn't know how to put on our makeup. Yeah, and the makeup that they had, like they had fashion fair, but it wasn't good. They didn't know how, in my opinion, the makeup was very grainy. It really wasn't good. But you know who does makeup well? People from Puerto Rico, and they could be brown skin. They do makeup really nice. And you know who else could do makeup well? People from India. Like you watch the movies, they had this lady, she was a black American lady, and she was marrying this East Indian guy from India. And it was to be a traditional, I forget whether they were to have two ceremonies, an American ceremony and then the one that they're going to have in India with the guy's relatives.
That one's picking stuff up. And right behind him is going.
Well, the ceremony that they did in India was beautiful. She had the costume on. She was a dark-skinned woman, and they did her makeup. Wow. We should learn how to do our makeup. And you can go, see ladies, see we learn from each other. You should go to places like that historically is dark skin like us. And they know they have, I mean, in India you have so many different shades there, right? And you know, in India they have different hair textures too. And they have different features too. And they do fantastic makeup. Wow. And they have a great sense of design in India. So I appreciate women. See, because I'm raised in a very male-dominated household, I would reach out to learn from other women. And come on, don't go behind me like that. Oh, okay. Yeah, I learned from you guys. I didn't know anything about, I still don't know anything. But yeah, I watch other ladies. I learn how, yeah, they used to make fun of me in my family about how I makeup. When I started learning about how to put makeup on, I went to this beauty place that sold cosmetics and skincare lines, cleansers and all that. And they showed me how to apply the makeup. I was, I think, still 17 years of age, and I think they could have given me a different color, but they gave me fuchsia lipstick, fuchsia eyeshadow, and fuchsia blush. And I personally wouldn't. Come on, go. See, he keeps. Yeah. So he I would choose now a different shade, but either way, they showed me the technique how to put it on. And I remember how I felt when I was at home and I had done my makeup. I think it's the first time really putting on makeup. And I wanted to feel like a big girl. I was in college and I got my first job. They made me feel ashamed. I had a brother that called me a prostitute. And then my mother looked at my makeup and then she gets a tissue and she's tissuing it off. It made me feel shame. But some parents and households, they're jealous. I think my household was jealous of me and they had to deal with their own issues and so they took it out on me. And so I really not in any contact with them. Once in a while, I did call up a family member about a week ago. But basically, I'm a loner. I don't really deal with them. They're very toxic and I see that they want to hurt people. They're hurting people. You find hurt people like to hurt other people, okay? But I'm here to encourage myself. See, not everybody's going to like you, but you have to learn to like yourself, right? It's your responsibility to like yourself. And it's your responsibility to learn how to put on your own makeup, learn how to put things together, fashion, we make mistakes along the way, right? Oh, that was wow, it went out. see if I can turn it back on. Okay. This is my body cam I'm trying to put back on. It just shut itself off. Okay. Okay. Okay, sorry guys. You know what happened? The power went out. I thought it was going to, like, it did earlier let me know that the power was low. So it was like at 20%. And I thought it was going to let me know like I'm at 5% and I'll reattach the batteries. Well, let me put something in my hand. Hold on. Yes, I got the battery. So, yeah, I have to talk louder now in the mic. So, let me see if anybody's going on. Okay, someone's on now. Okay. Yeah, let me know. Hey, you guys. I'm gonna go down here. Yeah, so could you hear me? I don't have the mic on. I had to use that port for the battery here. So I hope you can hear me. Yeah, what I was talking about makeup and hair care. And that, yeah, I was raised in a very male-dominated house. And when I tried to embrace my femininity, I was mocked and I was shamed. And I was called I was ugly and everything. Yeah, they said that to me. But if you only saw those people, what they look like, those people who made fun of me and my family, you're going to say, you better look again. Yeah. Oh, quiet. Yeah. Yeah. So I see that, they didn't like themselves. And let me fix this. See, they didn't like themselves. And so, since I was the runt of the litter, they would, you know, they can do things and get away with it. So, so growing up, I felt ashamed of my body. I didn't have big breasts. I wasn't curvy. I was extremely skinny. Yeah, my body mass index was about 18. And in the black community, we're mostly overweight and obese. Some of us were skinny. Yeah, so I think that made me feel self-conscious. All my clothes fit me baggy, so I didn't feel pretty in my clothes. Yeah, I didn't. I was the ugly duckling. And so when I started going to, come on. Oh, I don't want to go down there. Let me try it here. It's going uphill. Hey. Thank you. So when come on, baby. This is really pretty out here. So when I got to college, I got my little job. I would study how different people put the makeup on. Come on, he's doing it again. Yeah, yeah, different groups have different specialties, excuse me. Different groups have different specialties with beauty, you know? And it took me a long time to embrace my body. Yeah, it took most of my life. So now I wear, like I might wear my shirt and it shows my legs, but I have shorts underneath it. And I went to visit my mom, and my sister was there, and she's getting all of my business what I'm wearing. Oh, you don't have shorts under there? None of her damn business whether I have shorts on or not, you know? And so it's jealousies, I notice. it's all jealousies. See, she's overweight, and she got no, I'm not gonna even go there. But see, their own issues, and even if I'm still single and no kids, um, I have more time for myself. And some people are jealous when you have this extra time. You know, if I want to go out, I don't, you know, outside of my pets, I can do whatever I want. And this bothers some people. But either way, about my accepting my body and my race, see, they're all intertwined. Race and color, at least for me, is all intertwined. And the gender, you know, to embrace your womanhood. Also, if you're a victim of molestation, as I was, it put more shame on me. And some mothers cover for the abuser, you know? And that's what happened to me. So, oh, that looks neat. Let me show a picture of this. I've never seen this tree. Let me turn around. Look at that. Ooh, doesn't that look neat? Wow. Look at that. That is neat. That is neat. Looks like a little animal could crawl in there. That is beautiful. I'm going to turn it back. Yeah. So, yeah. I'm glad I did things my way. See, one thing coming from a background of abuse, intimidation and physical and sexual abuse, you learn to be more independent. And you seek outward for comfort. So I was always interested in other people, learning about other groups. And just like this woman that I told you about on YouTube, okay, that other woman who, she's from a diverse background and lived in a diverse culture also in Canada. She's able to navigate in the white mainstream society. She understands how they work, and she makes it work for her. She didn't stay. It is like a sacrifice you have to make. You have to make a decision. Oh, cutie. What type of dog is that?
He's a Shih Tzu Poodle
Oh,
Cocker
wow. Well, let's stop. Lily, stop that.
Is he a Shih Tzu? Or your...
Oh, she is a Havanese, and that one is a Shih Tzu, and that's a Pekingese, so all purebred.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, that's a cute little dog.
Thank you. They're so cute.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Lily, quiet. You hear her growling.
Yeah. It's okay. We have one just like that.
Oh.
But she wouldn't do anything though. She
Mhm.
just growls.
Okay. Okay.
Enjoy your walk.
You too. Yeah, sorry about that. Come on. Come on. Let's go back here. So, what I appreciate, what I appreciate is that I'm able to, the YouTuber is able to embrace different people. She can set up her videos that's inclusive. And I think what some of us could do wrong, I mean, I shouldn't say wrong, but see, it's a price to pay if you say that you're just one thing, if you're from a multiracial or biracial background. No, not, go in front of me. Yeah, see, when you just say, well, I'm just one thing, and you get on a pity party like I was starting to develop, you start to feel like you get stuck. And what I'm saying is, don't get stuck. Whatever what you are is what you are. But don't cut off everything. Be eclectic. It's like a stew. You just got one ingredient in the pot, you know. You're limited in the flavor. Be inclusive in your approach to things, because flexibility is something that is very positive. It's a very positive trait. Being flexible, being able to speak multi-languages, to be able to get along with different types of people. And that's why she's so successful on her channel. And I was starting to feel, with all the racial crime in the United States, the other girl, she's in Canada, it has a very rigid mindset. Oh, that's nice movie too.
Everybody over there. Oh, I guess the bird is there. Puppy.
Okay. This nice water. You want to take a look at this water? I want to show you this. Right? That's nice. Quiet. That is pretty. This is absolutely beautiful. Okay, turn it down. Hey, Ken, so you're still there? Yeah, I'm sorry if you just coming back on again. My I didn't have my battery set up, and so the camera died. You know, my phone. It died on me, and so I have the battery attached to it. So the volume won't be as loud because I don't have the mic on. In order to charge my phone, I have to pull out the earplugs and put in the battery for it. So yeah, about makeup now. Yeah, so the more inclusive you are, oh, that's great, you sound fun. Oh, great, thanks. So what I was talking about, that in comparing the different types of people, like the YouTuber who's inclusive. Oops. I'm navigating here. My little boy is pulling again. She's successful because she incorporates different things, and she'll talk about different subjects. And but you find people, like people that I grew up with, they used to make fun of how I spoke. They said, you sound like, you know, that I sound like a white person, and they'll be on the job. Like I was at a job location, and they had two American blacks, very dark complexion, and they did like folding the envelopes, and I worked on the computer. Now I went to school, I went to a trade school in addition to learn about word processing, because that was the big thing in the 1980s, the early 80s. So you find many of us don't learn a skill. They don't want to spend money on improving themselves. And I wanted a job. So I did have office work experience from the first job I had. But I needed to, you know, I had lost a job in private sector, and that's when I was introduced to word processing. And so they had a school in the business section where I live in Jamaica, Queens. Sorry. And I took a class. It was really quick. And I learned how to do basic word processing on the Wang computer. And so what else now? So I was able to get a job. And it pays higher than stuffing envelopes. But you had these two black American girls, and they looked really mean at me. This is at a white client. The owner was, it was a small business. It was the owner's son, and maybe 5 other people, plus me, and another black woman who was a typist. So I was the computer person, and so the girls would they started mocking me in front of everybody. Now this is really stupid. These are girls that sound like they were from the street, and you're going to go in front of us. It was a Jewish company, so they're going to go in front of these Jewish people and white people and pretend like to do a fake British, like, you know, those snooty British, so-called British accents, and they did it in front of me. And I was wondering what they're getting at. Because I just sound, you know, me. So what are you teaching whites and Jewish people? That black people insult other black people who have some education. See? So what are you teaching? What are you teaching? You're teaching you don't like yourself, and you're not about improving your education. And if you don't like stuffing envelopes, you better go to school and learn a trade. Right? Sorry. So that's what happened. I'm sorry. That's what happened. Yeah, and that's what New York City was like in the 1980s. Jealousy. And you had American blacks, women. I didn't really work with a lot of black American men because they were discriminated against. but there was a difference in attitude. Let's say a West Indian, a dark-skinned West Indian black man versus a dark-skinned black American man. For example, in the mailroom, in the United States with private sector jobs, when they did hire black people of any nationality, they had them work in the mailroom. White men in particular, and white women, they didn't want any black men next to them. That's how it was. And the West Indians that had the job, they dressed really nice. They wore nice slacks and an iron button-down shirt. And then the American black had like play clothes, and they were dirty. And sometimes they you know, I'm not even gonna, you know, their hygiene was problematic too. And they'll be angry and talking, you know, they're using the N-word, and you're on the job, right? Well, this is what happened. What was happening in New York was that you weren't being taught how to present yourself for work. You were taught to feel ashamed about your heritage, because you only learn about the heritage what white people tell you and not what your parents tell you. And some of the parents told them bad things, like one American black fellow said, my mother said don't act up in so-and-so's class because she's black, and to only act up in white teacher's class. Now that's a dumb woman to teach a kid that. But this is what's said. And so why were they taught this? Well, I think when Martin Luther King got assassinated, that their hope was taken away, and their anger. And so they were rebelling the only way they knew how. Protesting and all that, they just get clobbered in the head and thrown in prison. So they fought back by acting out in classroom and being stupid. That's how but they were hurting themselves in the process. they hurt themselves and they hurt their kids. And if hello. And if they taught, sorry, and if they taught their kids, I'm sorry, if we had intelligent Black Americans who taught their kids some ethics, like to learn how to speak well, standard American English, and study and do their homework. These Black Americans would be mocked at. They would tell Blacks who took law school that they were trying to act around. Could you believe that? Could you believe someone teaching after what Martin Luther King went through? You know that Martin Luther King, he was an honor student. He graduated at the age of 15 from high school. So what are they saying about him? See that? Because they don't know the history. They don't know. If they were taught that, really taught their history, they wouldn't be doing half the things they're doing. Right? But they don't teach it. And so they think that to show intelligence, to show organization is a white trait, and that a Black trait is anything inferior. So who is prejudiced against who? They're prejudiced against their own self, right? So, but this is what happened. And so I grew up in that environment, and I felt insecure to what if I wanted to put makeup on. We had some Black Americans who didn't like that I contoured my nose. They didn't like that I had my makeup on. I had stopped wearing makeup because it offended a lot of the Black American women. So I didn't straighten my hair because they didn't like it. They would suck my teeth. I lived in Haiti, I lived in the Caribbean. And I would be walking with another West Indian woman, a regular West Indian woman, but she went to school in the U.S., so she understood American people. And I would hear these funny noises as I walked. Well, let me tell you, you can gather what it was. It was, I'm getting my bearings. Trying to get my bearings here. Oh, I don't want to go on the west side, the east side.
Your criteria,
Yeah, let me, yeah. Yeah, I don't want to go, over here, over here. Come on. Yeah, I've never been over here before, at least I don't remember. Yeah, on that side is the east. I don't want to go east. Yeah. Wow, no, a rat. Let me show you the rat. You see that? You saw that as a rat.
well, that's what I'm saying. I think it was under
Yeah.
oppression for forever.
So let me get. I got distracted there. So I will go over there. I will go across the bridge. It's a bridge. Let me show you the bridge. This is the bridge. See that? See that? It's a pretty park. Sorry. Come on. So this is the environment that I came from. That to better yourself meant that I was a bad person because I was denying my Black background. can believe that. And so that's what the propaganda was for much of the 80s and 90s. And you had people who would say, the one drop rule. Very nice, very nice.
Thank you.
Very nice. No, no. No, no. No, no. Come on. Come on. Good. Okay. Sorry.
Good?
I guess. You let me know.
All right.
Watch it down. Okay. Sorry for that. Sorry. This is the environment that I came out from. An environment that said to think low of myself, to not put makeup on, to not straighten my hair, or give it nice hairstyle, because it would intimidate and anger my fellow black women. But it was okay that they can wear their hair any way that they wanted to. So sometimes I get angry when I see some American blacks wear their hair with long hair weaves and they bleach it.
Up.
So I said, wait a minute. Here, I'm someone of biracial background, but I can't wear my hair in a straight. Oh, I know. I almost forgot something. I was saying that when I lived in the Caribbean, there was I was walking with another girl, and we minded our own business, just having a good conversation. But I noticed that there'd be these weird noises, and I didn't understand what these noises were until one day I found out. When I looked, because I was in a deep conversation with the other girl, but this time I turned around to see where the sound was coming from. It was the island women, the black island women sucking their teeth at me when I walked by. That's what was happening. And I'm thinking, and that was when I had this girl that I knew. She had done my hair. She had straightened my hair. I used to wear an afro, an afro. My natural texture hair, but in a fro. Sure, come on. And she kept on telling me, oh, you should do your hair, you should do your hair. I didn't want to. I thought, fine. I thought, well, I'm in the West Indies. Why should I have to straighten my hair? I went amongst my own people. So she talks me into it. And yes, it looked nice. And that caused me problems. See, in the West Indies, I learned the West Indian men like anything Caucasian-like, the long hair, straight hair, pale skin. They like all that. And oh, look at that! The dog is being dragged. Is it cute? Do you see that? You saw that? I hope you guys saw that. So, let me just stop for a second. I'm sorry. Sorry, my nose itching. So what happened? Yeah, the guys like that type of humor. And the women, the black women, despise that. They did. Come on, Lavin. Hey! Come on. Lavin, let's cut it out. Cut it out. Sorry. So, the girls are very hateful. And so it's like, what? I got all this done. I'm living in the West Indies because I wanted to be around black people.
I'm not part of this group. Let's go.
And yet to be mistreated because my hair was done in a straight hairstyle. But they get the hair relaxed. See that again? Because of colorism, and they don't feel beautiful.
He's bumping. He wasn't going nowhere.
And you find that happen a lot in the, wow, I have to use another stairway. Yeah, this is a staircase, I think. I'll have to use the ramp. Come, Labby. Labby. Oh, let me play this water fountain. That nice? Isn't that nice? Ooh. So, wow, this is gonna be. I hope that's not stairs also, because I can't use the staircase. Yeah, that staircase also. I could find another way to get around. Nothing. Keep going. Yeah, I have to be able to get out of here. Oh, that might be it. Yeah, I have to back up the ramp. Come, Rabbit, you keep turning back and forth. Come on, you go. He's kidding me. So this is what happens. So you have an island of West Indian women, dark-skinned, Afro-Caribbean women, and this happens in the Anglo-Caribbean a lot. In the Spanish Caribbean, French Caribbean, I don't think it's like that. I've been to both. Like in Martinique, where my mother's family's from. Yeah, dark and light. Everybody gets along. They don't have the same mentality. So, yeah, and when I went to Martinique, it's a French Overseas Department of France, they take pride in their African roots. They even celebrate their emancipation from slavery. Yeah, when I was there, it was, I forget what anniversary. It could have been like the 150th anniversary, something like that, of the end of slavery. And they took pride in it. Oh yeah. You don't hear that in the U.S. Never. Emancipation Proclamation. Let's see here. I don't know where that road is. I'm trying to see. Looks like another road. Let me see. I think it's another road I can take. I see people walking down, and it's not the same. Let me see. Yeah, so Martinique, they hold a lot of their. Oh, okay, that wasn't a road. It's a dirt. Okay, let me go around. Wee. Yeah, so yeah, they take pride in their Black history. It's very African Martinique. They play the drums, African style, what is it, like the congos? They play that. It's very African. And they also play like a Creole. They have French food and Caribbean food. Yeah, it's a nice blend. I liked it. So, wow. another mouse. Oh, so just ran across. You saw that?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I feel that American Black women really need to learn about their heritage. They need to talk to their moms and learn and take what works for you, you accept, you keep. What doesn't work for you, you throw out. But you have to embrace yourself. And I think places like Martinique and the Caribbean, what happened happened. And they're small islands, and you have to get along. You have to. Everybody basically knows who everybody is, in my opinion. You know, they all know who are the descendants of,
Something about
you
it.
know,
Like if I
the
bring this to Colombia,
enslavers, the families, where they live,
I would do that.
but they don't dwell on it.
But
You find the blacks in the Caribbean that's not U.S. controlled. They do their own thing. They have respect for. They seem to have a respect for their culture, their way of life. They socialize. They're very social in the Caribbean. Yeah, they're not. They are about. They want wealth. Yeah, when they come to the U.S., they go out their way to use the institution to move up the social ladder. To them, being smart is just being smart and get out of poverty. Yeah. So you have to go outside of your environment to see how others cope with the legacy of slavery. And you'll see that when you go outside of the U.S., it's just something that happened. They even have like where the slaves were held in storage. Yeah. They call it the market square. And they go, yeah, it's out in the open. So I think a lot of blacks should go to these places and you'll see real poverty. There is poverty in these places, but they have themselves. They have the countrymen, you know. Yeah. And I think it'll change the outlook. It'll change the outlook on how they view themselves, their history. Come, baby. Thank you. Just gonna listen to this play when I pass out.
Oye, para meterle la podrilla. No, porque yo estaba libre, pensé que había saludado a todo el mundo como entonces te estoy diciendo que no. ¡Ay, qué pasó! ¡Ay!
Oh, nice, nice. Very nice. You're an artist? Yes. Oh, am I? A little. I did these little things. I like your things. Azalea. And what is your name? Marty? Where you? Raji? Very nice. Where are you from? You're from the Carolinas? And you're doing the carving? Nice. Nice. So you got your beads. So you were initiated here in the U.S.? Very nice. Very nice. Wow. I'm impressed. I thought you were from the Caribbean. Is there anyone in your...
I did a lot of research. A lot of people from all the countries.
Oh, you make okay. I do. Uh-oh.
A lot of stuff.
Uh-uh. No. No. It's really nice. You enjoy. Thank you. It's beautiful. My father used to do carving also. He was born in New York, but his mother was from Antigua and his father from St. Croix. Yeah. But
that's
they
really nice.
do carving. So that's really nice. Very nice. I like it being. Enjoy. Bye-bye. Thank you. Nice. Yeah, then let these dogs go. Yeah, I have a fear of pit bulls. Let me try to beat a go around. Good. I'm sorry. Yeah, good. See, now that group of people. Now I don't know what island the ones who claim the Spanish music. They look like they could be from Puerto Rico. But see, they take pride in the music. Okay? And they're all sitting there. They're different colors, light and dark. And they celebrate their music, their culture.
We're gonna be nice.
Come on, come. Yeah. So it's really exciting. So you only know what you inherit. If you don't teach that heritage to your children, it gets lost. And pretending it doesn't exist, that it didn't happen, is not helping. You have to embrace you. When you embrace yourself and accept yourself, it's not saying that you like what happened, it's just saying be able to come to terms with it. It's saying, yes, this happened, but in spite of it, I'm going to persevere. And that's what American blacks have to do. You have to do that for yourself. Yeah, I enjoy cultures where people, you can tell they love themselves. Lavin, you keep going, stop that. You go back and forth, and it can sick me. But yeah, embrace the you. Yeah, it's really interesting. The music is very rich. And it's not saying bad things about the music. It's not saying bad things about their women. When you insult your women, you're insulting the womb that bore you. Okay? When you do that, you're cursing the future generation. And you shouldn't do that. When you curse yourself, who benefits? Well, your enemy. Lavin, go on the other side. Good boy. Right? Stop denying yourself. And once you fully accept yourself, you really have true freedom. And you can teach your children, hey, it's okay to learn and study and become an honest student. Yeah, my father was one of the top graduates of his school. Yeah. He went, I forget which high school he went to.
So cute.
Thank you. Come on, Laddie. Come. But yeah, he was either the number 2 or the number 3 in his graduating class. And back in those days, black people studied. Black people, whether they're coming from the West Indies or the South, they knew the value of education. I'm just trying to see what else I can go up this way. used to roller skate. Where that music is playing, I'll show you. So you see them dancing. Yeah, I used to be a part of them. And for me, it was great at the time. But I saw that I wanted to do more in life than just going around in circles. Yeah, I'm outside the Ramble. Yeah, a lot of the people there are drug addicts, drug dealers, people who they don't want to do anything with their lives, and I don't want that. I don't want that for myself. Yeah, and you find that when you're on the bottom of the barrel, that they don't want you to succeed, and they'll say things to you. You have to make a choice, either to move forward, and if you move forward, you're not going to be around the same people.
It doesn't mean that there's like
You have to change. It's like you want to lose weight. Well, if you want to lose weight, well, you have to change diet. And if you change your diet, that means you won't be eating the same food, or you won't be eating as much of the same food. You have to have a change in your behavior, your lifestyle, in order to get a different outcome. What do you want? We're going up the hill. What? Yeah, you have to make that decision. So that lady on YouTube, she made a decision for herself that she wanted some changes, and for her it worked. She didn't just say she was one thing. She accepted whatever she looked like, and now she's actually marketing off of people's ignorance about her look. She shared the comments that people tell about her or ask about her that is so rude and insensitive about her physical appearance. She's a very pretty woman. She puts on her makeup beautiful. She presents herself very beautiful. And some of the comments, biased comments, towards her color, her features. They said that she was transracial, meaning that she was really a white person, making herself look like a black person. They did all these things. But she's actually Asian and African. So isn't that something? Come on, Bitcoin. So yeah, so even with myself, I have to make decisions for myself too. I don't want to forget where I come from. And it's really something. I think why I say it like that is I remember some of the girls in the elementary school that used to pick on me. When I realized that they weren't raised in a household that taught that they were beautiful, that they were smart. And I think that's what their problem was. And another big influence on my mentality was when I lived in the Caribbean, and to experience biases. I was treated with biasness. There was a lady on my job. She worked in the mailroom. Now, these jobs were union. My position was not union, it was non-union. So you get paid. I mean, whether you work in the mailroom, you get paid. And I was perceived as an outsider. I was perceived as different, and they hated my guts. And I would come over, I'd say, hey, how you doing? If you get to know me, you'll like me and everything, maybe have lunch. I tried everything to try to break the ice. that one person, I don't know, she affected me. And I felt it was because maybe I have hidden sin. And maybe deep down I didn't like her or something because she was a mailroom clerk. I was a clerk too. I was a pencil pusher. I did secretarial administration. That was my background at that time. But I thought I was neutral. But it put like a guilt trip on me. Like I wasn't supposed to have my job. But you know, you have many people from the Caribbean who work here, and it's okay for them to have jobs, right? Right? So why can't I have a job in the Caribbean? And it's not that many American blacks that move to the Caribbean. And if they do, they create their own jobs. So we're not taking from them. And we're there because we want to be around other black people. And it was really a culture shock when I wasn't accepted. But some of the people were nice. Some of the people were very nice. But I had to leave. I had to leave that first. Yeah. So I don't think, I don't owe them anything. You owe yourself. I don't owe anything to anybody. And you know, it's not fair. I think as a result of that experience, that white people also hold over these places. You don't owe them anything either. If you physically do something to somebody to harm them, only then do you owe them an apology. I do believe in reparations. I do believe in that. And I believe in that because the system is created to keep the people, the descendants of those people, behind. And that's very prevalent today. Like, who owns the property? Slavery happened in New York City, but the land is not owned by us. It's not. So when you are a land holder, you hold a lot of power if you know how to use it. But it is what it is. Yeah, so I think in a nutshell with everything, the message and what I'm trying to just teach or share is that no matter what life throws you, you have to accept yourself and love yourself. No one can love you for you. You have to
Get those SSRIs.
just look at that's really nice. I don't know what that is. It's pretty. Let me show you that. It's pretty. The balloons are gorgeous. I don't know what that is. It's like a look. Hear the music playing. I see it all the time. Try it. Come on. Sorry. Come on. Come. So I missed a comment. I had to put the plug back onto this. He knocked it off. Yeah, with the music that's playing right now, I see him alive. I don't know who he is. but he's a black man, and could be between the ages of 50s, 60s. And he's not playing, he plays French music, Edith Piaf, and he's by himself. I never see him talk with anybody. Lou Armstrong. But he also plays Edith Piaf. Yeah. This is new that he plays. But he strolls on his box. I'm going to show him now. I'm not going to show his face. He has the black hat and the black satchel. I want to get to know him. He's he doesn't need people. He rides his bike round and around, like I might be sitting on the side here, and he comes by several times, just passing by. And he's in his own zone, his own zone, and he plays classy music. It's classic. And he doesn't need other people, and he's not listening to rap. He's not listening to music that degrades people. He sounds like a sensitive soul and someone who thinks outside the box than the general black population. Again, I don't know him. Sometimes he's even near where I live. Yeah, I've seen him across the street from where I live, riding his bike. And he rides all day. And he rides at a slow pace. Just taking in the good old sunshine. It's really nice. So I want to meet people like that who want to go against the grain, who want to say, well, I want to make a stand. I want to do this because I want to do this, not because the others told me to do it. I think it's beautiful. And in life, again, you have to make a choice. And I have to make a choice too. And so when I listened to that this morning, who's biracial from Canada, and who's making $20,000 a month in revenue, YouTube revenue, I had to reevaluate my life. I mean, it's not all about money. It's not the money, but in spite of your hardships, that you make things work for you. That's the essence of this. That regardless what happens to you, you have to make a choice. You can be a pity party and talk about white people doing this and that and reparations. Yeah, there's nothing wrong discussing those things.
I don't think there's a lot.
But in the meanwhile, what could you do to improve? So for her, she found. Let's cut it out. Let's cut it out. It's running. It's trying to run. Come on, baby. Like the little doggy? Okay, now, baby. Okay, baby. Come on. Come. Sorry. So you have to make a choice. And to go mainstream in Black America, there's different types of Black people. But the type of Black people that's being promoted, and what's being promoted is the ghetto mentality, the blame so-and-so mentality, to destroy property mentality, to not study mentality, to not learn different languages and different cultures personality, to not try different foods personality. It's limiting, and we limit ourselves. And people like that man playing that old-time music and French music, it's separating you from others, from mainstream, and it could be a lonely ride. This girl, YouTuber, she does not have, in my understanding, she doesn't have a lot of people in her life, but she has essential people in her life. And she's staying at a friend's house, for this COVID. So for her, if she were to stay in the mainstream Black community of Canada, it may be limiting. And I mean, I've never been there, but it may be like here in the U.S. And it may limit her. If you're in a European-based system, if the better you can play the system, whether we like it or not, the better you know how the game works in their culture, the better outcome you'll have. So whatever was good in that cultural system, you embrace, and whatever is bad in that system for you, you reject. So it's going to be lonely. And so for me, when I took those courses, word processing courses, it could be lonely because other Blacks may think you're better. And no, I didn't think it was anything that I should learn. I wasn't raised to think that, but I heard it growing up when I got into junior high school, and we always clashed. I knew for me, I didn't want to be around them. They did the drugs, they cursed, and they would fight. I didn't want that. I stayed away from people like that. I did. And unfortunate, the people who were so-called better behaved, not into fighting and cursing and drugging, were people outside of my community, unfortunately. So it could be very lonely. Very lonely. You want to get out, Peanut? I was poking you? Yeah, we're on our way home. Sorry about that. Yeah, so it's something I have to come to terms with. How much am I willing to sacrifice? Because I feel for Black America, very much so. But is it working for me? Is being in a pity party, is it working for me? Is not wearing makeup or straightening my hair, to prove my loyalty to the Black community, is it working for me? I have to make that decision. I mean, embrace what you want to embrace, but how much are you willing to sacrifice? And what are they willing to sacrifice for me? What did they sacrifice for me? I've been to, I was in the military, and I fought for Black rights in the military. And none of the American Blacks supported me, but yet they directly benefited from what I did. I spoke out. My career in the military after that was through. Right? Yeah. You think the lady in the West Indies in the mailroom, do you think she would appreciate that I fought for their rights?
Good job.
Nice.
See that?
So let's keep this party polite.
You see what I'm getting at?
Never
Two
get
standards.
out of my sight.
I lost my career.
Stick
A
with
lot
me,
of things that
baby.
happened were what Black Americans did to me. Yet I'm fighting now even for their rights. And I feel like, wow, I feel like stabbed in the back. I'm all about all this so-called freedom and stuff and liberation, but they're not, they're hurting themselves. So I would have liked, to have known a woman like this YouTuber back when I was growing up. She's much younger than me. I'm much older than her. I'm like 17 years older than her. Yeah. And there was only one girl. She also was of Caribbean ancestry. She was Jamaican and Jewish. She told me later on. Sorry, my phone is popping up messages. She was a black girl. She was maybe just a little lighter than me, shorter. And I knew right off when I saw her, she was different than the other girl, other Black American girls. Again, I didn't know her background, but I was a couple of feet walking behind her. And it's the first day of school, and she has a big, big briefcase, big leather one. And I'm wondering why she has a big bag. We didn't get our books yet. It's just a thought that went in my head. And she had like a big bowl. I'm going to pull her out. She might have to go potty. You want to come out? Okay, sorry. Thought she had to go. Maybe she had to go pee pee. Oh. You had to go pee pee? I'll stay right here. Yeah, she's not to walk. Yeah, she's still recovering from surgery. Lovely. Let me just it got tangled. Let me fix it. Oops, wait. I didn't mean to do that. Just a moment. Just a moment. Almost done. Sorry about that. I had to fix the cord there. It got tangled. Why are you still barking? I took you out. You want water? Let me get some water. Oh, they might want water. I didn't give them water yet. Let me just get the water. Sorry. Yeah, I know she wants to eat. Let's see. Let me just put this down. Go ahead. Just a moment. Have to feed them. They need water. Let me get this. Just take a moment. Just a moment. Good boy, good boy. You thirsty? You were walking all day. You were walking all day. He's still drinking. Wow. Oh, I forgot to put the lock of the water was still running. Okay, Lavin, get more. Lila, get your water. Get your water. Okay. You get Lily. water.
Still to this day.
You just take me a moment.
Fluffies. Oh, she is.
Lavin.
Oh my God. You're an angel. God bless you.
Thank you. Okay. 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 Okay, I just had to put that in there. They probably want some treats also. Oh, sorry. Yeah, I forgot to give them the water. Yeah, let me give them a little treat too. So yeah, what was I just saying now? I know about making. Oh, about the girl that was different. She was a black girl, a little lighter than me, and she was very introverted. She was.
Want to get some what?
And I knew she was different. From again, the first day of school, she had a big briefcase and notebooks yet. Giving her little treats.
Hi, Nuggets.
Yeah. That's all I give you right now. You okay? Yeah. Half of it. I think the edge was a little too hard for her. Yeah, I'll feed you when you get home. Okay. That's her. Here. Oops. Oh. You okay? Sorry. Sorry about that. Okay. Come on, you're not going to go behind me like that. Sorry. Yeah, so, come on, Larry, not over there. She's going to try to go behind me again and trip me. Yeah, oh, let me get the battery now. I'll hold it in my hand. I'll hold it like that. Perfect. So this girl, she was different. Back in those days, come on, I'm sorry. Come. Stop that. Back in those days, this was in the 1970s, and status was very important in the black community, black American community. Wearing coquette sneakers was the trend. You wear your jeans, you chew your gum, and talk potty. In the 7th grade, that's when they started smoking. Yeah, it was just a bad scene. But this girl, this was in the 9th grade, I think it was, 9th or 10th grade. I saw her for the first time. She was standing right in front of me, walking. We were walking up the hill to the school, the high school. And again, she wasn't dressed like the other black girls. And she had this big bow in her hair. It was blue. And I said, wow, she's different. And so I was curious about her because she's kind of like me, but I don't have a briefcase either. But the bow, you know, how she was conservative. And this girl was the, I think called a salutatorian. She was the number 2 graduate in the school. Yeah. And this girl had extra honor class. Yeah, so she just wasn't just an honor student. She was in the extra honors curriculum. She did everything this girl. And in that school had a heavy Jewish population. It was heavily Jewish. I mean, it had everything. But the principal of the school was Jewish. And I think the assistant principal also. You had a lot of Asians from East Asia and South Asia. You had every background in that school. But in that school, the people who weren't doing as well as a group were American blacks. But back then, we had West Indians. They were quiet. They they were like back then they were well behaved in the classroom, but now it's a lot of fighting and stuff like that. But back in those days, a lot of these West Indians were new arrivals. You had Haitians there, and they were well behaved. And there was no problem with them, so I got along with them. And unfortunately, those who didn't really like me, but not all, some were really nice. But those who mistreated the students, you have to walk it. Wow. Now she's going, riding a bike up the hill, and it clearly says dismount and walk. She almost ran into this couple. I don't know why they do that. Wow. So I'm sorry. So that's how it was back then. And so it was, you start to learn about segregation and isms. So I avoided them. Anyone who wanted to be my friend were my friend, you know. It was an open school, very open, friendly, very friendly. But the students that weren't doing well as a group, that had problematic behavior, I should say, were people, American blacks. And I think again that was the case because here they're in America for all these generations, and all these new groups are coming and taking their jobs and being preferred over them, and it makes them angry. So I had that guilt trip on my head also. But you know, there's a point where you have to say, you know, I don't like what happened to the Black American, and I will always feel for them as a group, and I consider myself part of that group. But I have to come to terms and not blaming me for any success. It's like I'm not supposed to be successful, but they can. I don't like that. So finding YouTubers like the lady on from Canada who's successful, and she's it's a lonely walk, but but she has the necessary things she does have, and it's not based on race. It's based on compatibility. How friendly you are. Are you friendly? Do you like life? The important things in life. And so she greatly encouraged me today, and so I put on a nice dress. Yeah. And wear my black boots. Okay, I'm trying to show the boots. I'm wearing black suede boots. And That's a nice song, but it's really a tearjerker. See, they don't make songs like that anymore. You know, because you got corrupted. So you don't like yourself, and it reflects in the music you play.